Hi, it's Wade McMaster here. Welcome to another video. I've been getting a bit of a question lately from people saying, what's the benefits of a professional website design over, say, a free website setup that you can get online through, say, Wix or even WordPress.com or something like that. So I wanted to approach this topic with a bit of a situation. So have you ever been looking for a business or something online and just trying to weigh up some competition and see who you want to work with for anything? Could be an accountant, could be anything, could be a plumber, and you do your search online, type in what you need, and you start going through websites. Have you ever pulled up a website that looked somewhat homemade or just looked like it wasn't quite professional, and sort of thought, not really sure if they're the sort of people I want to go with, it just doesn't look professional, and then you click onto another website and it's clean, there's good branding, a logo, there's something about the website that makes you just want to trust it a bit more, and you just think, oh yeah, these guys seem reputable, and you might not have even realized this stuff consciously, but you've sort of gone, yep, this is definitely, these are definitely the people I'm going to call, they seem professional, and then you call them up, you get a professional service, you get the job done, you give them your money, you move on. Have you ever had that situation before? I know that I've definitely done that before. If I land somewhere, even if it's just a Facebook page, and the Facebook pages look professional with professional graphics, that sort of thing, or even if it's not updated, that all makes a big difference to how you perceive a business. Now, you don't think about it a lot from the other side when you're looking for someone. You tend to just sort of go, oh, yep, you bounce around, you find the person who comes across somewhat subconsciously as the people you want to deal with, and you just sort of go, yep, that's who I'm going to go for. Well, from the other angle, as the business, you put a lot of time and effort into setting yourself up so that when people go looking for you, they go, oh, yep, this is it. You want to make it natural. You don't want to bring up any red flags or barriers that has them going, I'm just going to leave and go somewhere else. Now, there are benefits to going with a free website. I mean, if you're just an individual who's starting a personal blog, you don't want to spend any money, then sure, go for it. There's nothing wrong with starting up a free website and learning a few tricks to try and get it up and going yourself. If you're trying to start a business though, it's a different story. I mean, if you might not have much money to start off with, so sometimes you might be forced to sort of go the route of a free website, or I would recommend at least registering a domain name and installing a hosted website like WordPress, which I happen to work in, and I'd at least recommend starting there so that you have the option to update that website later and get it looking more professional. But when the time comes, if you've got the money, you're serious about making some sales, or you're willing to invest the money, you really should consider getting a professional website design, because it's just going to make a big difference to how you're perceived. So on a very, say, shallow level, your perception is definitely controlled by people who understand how websites are perceived. It's not the website that people are perceiving, it's actually you. When they go onto a website and they're looking at what you have to offer, what information, straight away they're actually perceiving you. They might not realize it, but your website reflects your business. So that's just something to consider when looking at a professional website versus a free website. But there's more to it than that. It's not just about the perception. I mean, obviously, when you're talking about running a website, you're talking about a piece of software. If you're running things for free, you might not necessarily have the knowledge to get things moving the way you want it to. And sometimes you might think you have things going correctly, but not necessarily. This can come down to a lot of things, such as search engine optimization. If you don't understand certain practices that Google and other search engines use, then you might be fooling yourself. Maybe you're just honest enough to admit it. You're not going to be able to really take advantage of that free search engine traffic you can develop that a professional website can provide. So when you set up pages, when you set up the way things work on a website, a professional is going to know, is going to come in with that mindset. Okay, this is how we need to, structure this. We need to set things up. We need to get our alt tags and meta titles and descriptions and all that kind of thing. We need to get that in there. They're going to set things up so that way you're ready and optimized to receive search engine traffic. And it's not just search engine traffic too. What happens if your website crashes, and it happens? Websites are software, and software is not perfect. All it is a system created by groups of people. So there's always the chance for errors. So being able to set something up that's going to be a bit more stable, especially security-wise, is really important. I mean, we're not talking about you being singled out by a hacker, a person who's going to try and hack into your website, but there are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of bots out there just surfing the internet, and they're trying to log into any website they can so that they can insert some software in there to do whatever it is. It could be to advertise a business, could be to take a website down. Happened to a customer of mine where a bot was circulating and taking down anything to do with automotive websites, where it just simply, years and years ago when I was first getting into this, he had a website and it got hacked into and reset. But luckily we had practices in there, and I was able to restore a backup within an hour, and the website was up and running again, and we simply boosted the security of the website. So, I mean, it's not entirely unavoidable, but that's the sort of thing that's happening all the time. If you don't have measures in place, your website can go down, and most people are not going to know how to set that up. And that's something that a professional can do for you, is put up those walls, make things more secure. So you're looking at that, you're looking at the functionality of your website. How safe is it? How well is it going to reach people on search engines? These are all things you have to consider when you're putting your website together. And a professional has all these things ready, checked off on a list. Okay, when I build this website, I need to make it secure. I need to make it search engine friendly. I need to make sure it loads quickly. A lot of people will load a few megabyte worth of image and information onto one page, and it might take 20 seconds to load for some people. A web designer is a little bit more sensitive to that kind of thing, and will design with speed in mind for your website. Not to mention, you might get things set up and think this is fantastic. Then you find out someone on another computer or a phone or tablet goes on and it doesn't quite work the same for them, and the website just doesn't perform. Once again, the web designer is there to make sure it works across platforms, on different browsers, that sort of thing. So this is where, if you have a business, you want to really tighten up your image, you've got to have someone who knows how to do all these things. So that's one thing to consider, is the functionality of your website. Now, going back to the way things are perceived. Now, when you have a website that's free, usually you load it off a template, it's very easy to look like everyone else. It's very easy to look homemade, and therefore your business looks homemade and your business looks cheap because it looks like everyone else. Getting a unique design with your branding, and if you don't have a professionally designed brand or logo, that's another thing that you can add in there, because it creates that unique identity. Think about every time you drive past McDonald's, you see those golden arches. I mean, that's a really good example, a huge example that some of us may not be able to achieve because we're not quite as big as McDonald's. But everywhere you go, you know that that's a McDonald's, and you want to try your best to achieve that with your branding. On your logo, your website, it should have the same colors, fonts, logo, and identity as all your other marketing material. So whenever anyone sees anything to do with your business, it starts to register. The awareness builds up. And it's not even necessarily about trying to advertise someone straight away. Maybe it's down the track. Maybe if you're a plumber and people see your car everywhere, people start seeing your logo. They happen to stumble upon your website, your Facebook page, and then all of a sudden they get a leaky tap, and straight away I'm going to call that mob I see. Straight away, because the branding is strong, the image is burnt in, and they just know that, all right, these are the people I'm going to call. They don't ask the question like, oh, who do I know? Who do I know? When you've got someone in mind, good branding, good presence, makes a huge difference. So this is something you want to think about on your website too. You want to have that solid brand. You want to make sure it lines up with everything that you have set up with your marketing, your design, and that sort of thing. And this leads to one final thing, which is probably going to be the most interesting, because, I mean, obviously you've got functionality, you've got presence and all search engine optimization. These are going to affect how many people actually make it to your website to begin with, because functionality and poor coding will also negatively affect your search engine optimization. But good branding, trust signals is going to change the perception, but then you want to make sure that things are set up to guide people the right way. A lot of people don't realize that you need, like, there there are certain, I guess, paths you want to put into a website. Some people will look at a website and go, oh yeah, it has this page, has that page. And if you don't know necessarily what you're doing, you might go, oh, the website's there, there's information there, it's all good. But you don't realize that maybe some people are going to that website and not really knowing where they want to go next and bouncing back. You want someone who's going to be able to say, okay, when someone gets to your website, what are you trying to achieve? Why is the website here? Are you just putting a website up because everyone else has a website? Or are you wanting it to actually achieve something? You want to be able to have someone go, okay, what are the goals for this website? And if you haven't thought of that, then straight away, if someone's asking you the question, you're already a step ahead. You can say, well, okay, I just want a website that people can get some information and contact me on. Maybe it's prices, maybe it's just general information about the business to build up and go, okay, yep, now I'm going to call these people. And then they go, okay, well, first call to action, we want to make sure you're easy to contact. Contact us page, phone number on the front page, phone number on the footer. Okay, the contact is easy, it's in there. People arrive on the website and they know how to contact you. But maybe it's okay, I don't necessarily want them to contact me. I want to get them onto my email list so I can advertise to them again and again. That's another, you want to be able to go, okay, well, make it easy for people to sign up for your email list, that sort of thing, and subscribe to a newsletter. Now, it's not just about, going, okay, we can set up a newsletter, but a web designer is also going to be able to say things, well, most people are going to see the newsletter box and they're probably just going to scroll past and not see it there. But there's ways of getting people to sign up, offering a free incentive or something like that. It could be a free ebook, or it could be maybe a discount off your first order or something. It could be anything. So web designers and people in the industry understand the behavior and the way these things work through statistics, studying your analytics such as Google Analytics, and understanding what happens when people get to your website. And there are trends across the board. Some people like certain things, some people don't. So you've got to really think about that. Like, what's the goal of your website? Because the web designer's going to be able to say, okay, for one, they're going to say to you, what is the goal? If you don't know, the question's been asked. Two, they're going to be able to say, okay, now this is how the best way to achieve that. And at the same time, they can study it and check out the analytics at a later date and go, okay, maybe we should adjust it and try and get this happening more. Or people are landing on this page more often, so let's push it there. And you get a far better approach. You get a far better idea of where things are going. So to summarize that up, I mean, you're really hiring someone's expertise. It's not, it's a lot of money sometimes for a decent website, but at the same time, the money you spend on a website can more than easily be made up in profit through your business if it's done well. And if you offer a good service and follow up that professional image with the professional and well-serving business, good customer service, then there's no reason why you couldn't make that money back very easily. And if you're creating a website yourself and it doesn't quite come across as professional, maybe there's things you're not aware of, you could be really missing out on sales, money, and your life could be so much easier for your business if you have a good, solid website. So you really want to make sure you get those expertise so you can get more traffic, you can earn more trust and more, present yourself better. And then obviously you want to get people to the point where they go, okay, I'm ready to take the next step, and they know exactly what to do. They just can go to your website. What's the next step? Here it is. I know what to do. I'm going to do it. So it's all about functionality. It's about guiding people and going from there. So hopefully that's given you a bit of an idea of just the difference between a professional and a free or amateur website design. There's a big difference, a huge difference in the way they're perceived to the visitor. It can seem not as huge to you when you're the person making the website, but from the other side, the activity is vastly different. So thanks for watching this video. If you found it interesting, please give it a thumbs up. Or consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you very much.